welcome to the Blyth Town Council meeting. Just to say that apologies for the mayor. She's been in hospital for a couple of days. She's home now and everything seems to be okay. And I would like Elaine to send her, saying
wishing her well.
wishing her well. That's the one I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
It's public question time. I don't know if there's any questions.
Can I just say, please, before we start, we generally record the council meetings. So we'll be recording the full council when that starts after question time finishes. But sometimes for clarity, if it's all right with you, we'll record this element as well, as on the screen. That won't be published on the website. You know, we've got a policy of not doing that, but we'll record all the questions. It's just in case we need to go back and, readdress anything you pick up to make sure we pick up all of your questions and they're clear for us. Is that all right? Are you happy with that?
At the end of the question time, move straight onto the full council. Apologies for absence.
We've got apologies from the Mayor, Councillor Barras, Councillor Carr, Councillors Grant and Susan Davey. I don't know if there's anybody else, but apologies from anybody.
Right, disclosures of interest and granted in dispensation.
There's been none.
The mayor's announcements where I haven't got our announcements, so I don't know what she's been doing. I don't know if Elaine's got anything she wants us, what the mayor's been doing.
I do know from talking to Elaine recently that since the last council, there's been a lot of appointments in various, Christmas celebrations and visiting, schools and the like, which has had, a lot of success with and enjoyment with. So I think she would have just touched on those at the time.
No problem. Right, the minutes of the council meeting held on the 24th of October. And that was the neighbourhood plan. I don't know if Elaine wants to give an update.
Read them, isn't it?
Read them.
They've agreed. Do you want to get them agreed first, and I'll do that in the actions
Right.
at staff?
I've agreed them.
Just to update on the neighbourhood plan, we carried out the Regulation 14 consultation between the 13th of November and it closed on Monday the 6th of January. We delivered the consultation packs to a number of community spaces, libraries, community centres, etc. We held an open day here on the 4th of December between 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. Subject to feedback we'd received from community groups and residents through the councillors, we held 3 additional consultation drop-in events on the 17th and 19th of December and another one on the 3rd of January. The consultation is now closed. We've had, I would say, I'd describe it as an underwhelming response from the community and the statutory consultees. So I've emailed the statutory consultees this morning and I'm giving them till the 17th to provide a response or at least say they've got no feedback. But all of the community responses have been sent to the planning consultant who was collating them. That's where we're at the moment.
Actions from this standard actions from the previous meetings as none. Committee meetings to be approved. Environment Committee on the 10th of December. Governance meeting held on the 7th of January. Approve them.
Can we approve the minutes in block, please?
Okay, right, no problem. Decision reports. Civic and respect pledge. I think Elaine's going to.
Yeah, in line with the report, there's a recommendation from the national bodies, the National Association of Local Councils, Society of Local Council Clerks, and One Voice Wales, representing councils in Wales, to really highlight the civility and respect pledge, and push for a change in the culture at local council level, to make sure that everyone is respected and to promote good governance. You can see from the report, and there's also a link included to find out more about civility and respect. But the main requirements of the pledge are putting in place a training programme for councillors and staff, which is included as Appendix 1. That we have signed up to a code of conduct for councillors, which we have done. The code of conduct was adopted in 2011 following the changes to the Localism Act, and then subsequently it's been reviewed annually by the Town Council. To have a dignity at work policy, and I've attached the recommended policy that was produced by the National Association of Local Councils, and have adapted it where necessary to suit Blyth Town Council. That we will seek professional help at early stages should any civility and respect issues arise. We'll commit to calling out bullying and harassment if and when it happens, and we'll continue to learn from best practice in the sector, being a role model or champion council. And support lobbying for changes in legislation to support the civility and respect pledge. I mean, I have said in here that I don't believe there are any issues with the council at the moment, but this is just good governance to protect us for the future.
Agree. Decision report, committee membership. You can get the chair.
I'll just say something on this.
All right,
Yeah, I think it's an excellent report. Elaine, well done on that. It's something that we raised before, if I remember
Yeah,
rightly.
yeah.
Probably 2020, didn't it, Cleo, or something like that?
And so where?
It was a while ago, and I can't remember the reasons why it didn't go through. But I'm delighted it's back here today, and I hope everybody will support it today. I mean, it's vital that we as councillors, irrespective of staff as well, that we as councillors are held accountable for the way we behave.
Yeah.
And for the public to see that.
Yeah.
And it does affect, the way we behave affects the whole reputation of the council. Whether that's during meetings, when we're meeting with the public, when we're acting on social media, whatever. So I think it's a fantastic thing to be taken forward, and I'm delighted, and I hope councillors will vote this through.
I'm quite happy to second.
thanks for that, totally agree. Kathy, do you want
I
to
was just gonna say that, I'm gonna second it, but I totally respect this report. I think it's absolutely brilliant that we're bringing it to council. And it might iron out a lot of things that's been going on. So I totally support this report.
everybody agree?
Yeah, agree.
Committee membership.
Right, thank you. I mean, just a overview of the report. The council have three main committees, and the membership of those three main committees is really determined on a percentage base by the number of councillors which represent the various parties within the council. So at the minute, you know, just going in terms of numbers, we've got Labour, Conservative and Liberal Democrat. And the percentage of councillors that each group has over the 16 members of the council, that proportion is divvied up into the various committees. Now, we do have an election today. Now, there's various scenarios. You can have the status quo, where the resignation of the Conservative councillor has caused us to have a by-election. If a Conservative win takes place, we'll have the existing numbers on the committees, and that person just slots in accordingly. We could have another option. We could have a Labour win. We could have a Liberal Democrat win, or we could have a Reform win. So if it's one of the Labour, Liberal or Reform, what it will mean is for the remaining three committees that we have before the AGM in May, we may have to restructure the membership, the actual individual membership of those committees. That is an option that the council have got. If you agree that we're going to keep the existing membership structure, what will happen is, depending on the result, which we'll find out, it may mean that I've got to contact somebody from each party and say, right, we might have to just juggle the numbers on each individual committee to accommodate. And that's what this report outlines.
You don't say something.
Yeah, I just want to put an amendment in on the Environment Committee. You've got Aileen Barros as the vice chair. She's not the vice chair. It was councillor Richardson. Okay,
All right, yeah.
well, I'm just having amended, please.
Amended it.
So,
John, want to say
Deputy Mayor, move the report.
I seconded
Yeah,
it. Really, yeah.
I've got a great idea.
My son, yeah, we're having a bed on there.
I did, but
Well, I don't think she did.
I think my hand was way up here, actually, I think you'll find, and everyone always ignores me.
Can I refer everybody to the previous report? Anyway,
Caitlin,
yeah,
you
I
want to
mean,
say-
there is so little time left, Chair, isn't there? I mean, it might be better. Whatever the result, I think we just go off this chart as in the town clerk kind of decides how to shuffle it about. And it's probably the best idea. We've only got 3 meetings anyway, haven't we?
Yeah.
Or we could just decide, just seriously for a second, we could just decide just to include this new person on every committee. I mean, you know, but for the amount of time we've got left, then it doesn't matter. I mean, and it shows the pointlessness of this by-election, really, doesn't it? To be honest with you. And just, this is my last ever town council meeting. I just realised that.
Oh, my God.
Just remind me that we'll have a million special full councils between now and then.
No, you won't. So it's been a pleasure to serve with you all. And now, you know, as I get closer to the date, I realise how I might miss you all, which is a terrible thing to say, I know. But anyway, it's been a pleasure. And I would quite happily, if it hasn't been moved, I'll move it. If it needs a second, I'll second it.
Caitlin, you want to say something?
Mine was only a minor point, just on Malcolm's point about contacting people. I know you usually contact councillor Farr, so at this time, if you're needing to, could you contact me instead, if that's okay?
certainly, yes.
Thank you, just while you recover.
Anybody else? Got any?
Sorry, can I say another one? I don't know if I'm allowed to do this here. I know that councillor Carr was supposed to email councillor Nisbet, but on the partnership board, if everyone agrees, can we swap that now, from councillor Carr to myself? I don't know if you've got any more in the next few months or if it's already been, but
Okay.
Have we not raised that before?
we have, but we just needed to councillor Carr to email and that's not quite happened. So I thought while we're here, we might just.
I haven't got a problem with that.
Yeah. I mean, there is, just an answer to your question, there is as you know, we've been going through a lot of discussions with the county council on, the county council, after all the maintenance of the grass and the litter picking and, you know, cleansing in the town. We've got a partnership agreement and we've got a partnership board that looks to improve the services that the residents get. There is a meeting that at the end of the month, Caitlin. I think it's the 28th of January in the afternoon, but we'll confirm that tomorrow with you.
Okay,
Thank you.
no problem. Right. Bloody happy now. Right, we want the next one, the different report, precept. Out again.
I mean, I don't know if John wants to lead this or if you want.
Well, I mean, I assume everybody's read the documents. The governance committee met on Tuesday night. We go through the three committees, their proposals for next year. Governance committee agreed the documents in total. We're not proposing to increase the council tax at all this year, so it'll stay the same as last year. Unlike some councils I've seen raising their preset quite a lot. So we accept the report in full, and only taking a small amount out of balances this year, but we'll keep the preset the same next year as it was this year. I don't know if there's any questions on what was in the proposal.
And I'll second that, Chair.
Second it, right. Thank you.
Are we speaking to this, or can we ask questions? Can we?
Yes.
That's your next view on.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. So you better get used to it. So anyway, I was thinking about this, you know, here we are. If you think about the good old days when Blythe Valley existed, I mean, you didn't miss a meeting. This was the most important meeting of the year. And Ian Tompkins and I spent months concocting something that, for some reason, became the focus of the meeting, even though it was never, ever actually going to be what the budget was. You did a brilliant job deflecting from your awful decisions by concentrating on our brilliant budget and why you weren't going to do it every year. But, you know, it's a long, long time ago now, right, isn't it? So I see we have more money in balances again. Last year. Just this time next year, just remember, when there's still more money in there, that, you know, it's Jeff, it's my legacy to you. I'm happy to support the zero thing because we need to be working down the balance. We need to get it within the bandwidth we're supposed to, which is actually 25% of the budget or something, which is people for that. But I just hope that you've done that for that reason, rather than thinking, oh, it's an election year, we better not be putting the council tax up, because that's, you know, I personally think that's beneath the job. I think we're past all that now. It's important that we raise enough money to do the things that we do and provide the service we'll provide and run the things we do, live and all the rest of those things. And doing this is a good way of nibbling away at that pot. So, well done. But can I just ask whether we have included the calculation for the labour job tax that we're all about to endure in the next financial year, the increase of employers' contribution?
Is that a reference to national insurance?
There is a
It
reference
is,
to
I just
national
wanted to
insurance.
clarify. Yes, we have. It's in this current year that way, an employer had to pay 13% on anything above 9,000 that an employee earned.
Right,
And now it's, you pay 15% on anything above 5,000 that an employee has. So it is incorporated within the budget figures that went to governance on Tuesday for the overall salaries budget, yes.
right. And does that include what, because I know some people are on pro rata. So, you know, if you're in all the time,
Yeah.
it's X, but because you're only part-time, it's Y.
Yeah.
So is it on what people actually get?
It's on
rather
what
than
people
the-
actually earn, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
so all those calculations have been carried out, yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to come back on a couple of things there. I mean, we've had an awful lot more people move into Blythe in the last year or so.
Yeah.
So even keeping the council tax the same as last year, we raised an extra £40,000.
Yeah.
Just because there's more people paying it. So we get £40,000 there for the town council. The other big issue really was the skate park. We had £200,000 in the budget last year. That's coming out of the budget now because it's all paid for. So there's another £200,000 that we didn't need to cater for. And as for the balances, we have got like a 6-year plan. And we will be monitoring that every year. and the balances will come down equalised, but at the governance committee, it was raised actually that we will look and provide more detail on that, on the reserves where we are. There's a certain amount we need to keep, certain amount for insurance.
Yeah, I get all that, and I was, sorry, Chair, I was totally and absolutely sure that this was not some sort of cheap political move, because I know you by now, John, but I just wanted to, you know, I can see why all this makes sense, and that's why I seconded it, and that's why I'm proud to have been part of what's happened.
On your last
Right.
on your last one.
Jeff, you're not getting sentimental, are you?
No, I'm not sentimental at all.
Just,
Malcolm, want to say something?
yeah, just to clarify for those people that weren't here on Tuesday, the report that people are seeing tonight does indicate that we've got balances of £1 million. But that figure is, as Jeff referred to, for a council of this size, we are classed as a large council, so the government guidelines say we've got to have 25% of that, which we've got to keep to one side that we cannot touch. And it's to be used for any eventualities such as a council closing down or things like that. We've got to have money to see us through when we don't get any council tax in. There is another so that takes into account about 400,000 of our balances. Of the remaining figure, we don't insure, we've got a self-insurance pot because it's at the moment being the best way to do it. So we've got to have a self-insurance pot of about 350,000. So of that million, it immediately comes down to £250,000 that's spare. Now, the Chair of Governance outlined that we do have a 6-year financial planning model, and that takes into account ups and downs that, you know, government forecast for inflation, people moving into the area or not moving into the area, and everything like that. Now, the difference in balances from the 250 I've just mentioned goes up and down each year, and the smallest amount of free money that we've got for projects that the council haven't actually identified is only about £95,000. So although we might have what looks like 250,000 free money next year, we've actually over a bigger period just got about £95,000. So that quickly brings the million, and it is a bit of a, you know, when you see it, you think, well, that's an awful lot of money. But when you drill down as to what we've got to earmark and what we can't touch, it does just bring it down to a much smaller, what looks like reasonable amount, if you like, you know. If there's any questions, and we do get questions from the public on things like this, you know, we're more than happy to explain it in a different way if we can, and what's, you know, the detail behind some of the figures.
Right, I'm really happy with that.
Yeah.
Yep. Move on to the next, any other business? There's none.
Jeff. I was kind of taken aback when Jeff said, it's his last meeting, last full council meeting. If that's the case, I think it would be nice. I'm sure all of us would want to wish him very well and thank him for his service over the years. I know you haven't gone yet, but it's the last full council meeting. I think it's only right and proper that those thanks from everybody are recorded.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Jeff, I'm gonna miss your banter. Big time.
Well, I might come and sit in the gallery, you know. Hey, the way things are going, you might have to co-opt me.
Aye.
Listen, mate, just to comment that Sandra did mention balances on Tuesday, she felt obliged to do that.
I didn't know anything about it, but I thought I'd just mention it. I tried to mention it for you, just to show you still listen to Jeff.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't know it started there, isn't it?
The date and time of next meeting is Thursday, the 8th of May, 2025.
You know what, Jeff? I've gotta miss you big time.
I know we might be.
We're not gonna get the Jeff shouting off.
So that's the end of the meeting now.
Right. Oh, it's also Sandra's last council meeting as well.
Oh, that was last one as well.
You're born as well.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my
Which is
God.
that loved you?
You've had enough of it.
By Sandra.